Be unapologetically yourself. I feel like in this life we're easily influenced in quite a few ways by our friends, our family, our colleagues, and quite a lot of people that are close to us in this life or are living within a shared space with us. A lot of people can, and I've seen this happen to people that aren't necessarily close to me, but people just aren't them anymore, just aren't the same, or have changed in a certain way, and unfortunately it can happen for the worse sometimes. It's sad, especially when someone is actually innately driven by good morals and have been brought up very well, and you know aren't that sort of person. And if this has happened to someone you know, or a very good friend of yours, you really can't seem to connect with a certain person or be in that shared space with them anymore, then definitely watch on, because you might relate to this a lot. Being unapologetically yourself requires living without fear, living without hesitation, living with no care of perceived judgment from others, living freely, living with no shame, no regret. Just not thinking that much, just having fun and living life to the fullest. The moment that you become too absorbed and too engulfed by the fear of judgment, allowing yourself to overthink each and every single moment and what you say and what you do, how you act, how you think you're perceived by others, what you think is the right thing to do to socially conform or be accepted, so to speak, you're losing yourself. You're allowing yourself to be carried by a wave, almost. You're losing a little bit of you, sometimes without even realizing it's happening, more than often until it's too late. You can feel yourself maybe tapping out of your own identity or how you were raised, your own morals. The first step of realizing that you're becoming someone you're not, or trying to perhaps fit a social norm that you think is deemed acceptable or the right way to be because other people are doing it. There's a little bit of personal delusion there, because you're allowing yourself to be easily influenced on what you believe is the only appropriate way you have to act. Just be yourself. Learn what makes you you. Try certain things that you've never done before, and if you find yourself being drifted along by a wave, you can muster yourself out of that. A few examples I can bring up personally that I can use to make this point a bit more fuller. Throughout my life and growing up, I've been surrounded by certain people and certain influences that I did nearly completely lose my identity with, and I was nearly sucked in. I was nearly sucked into someone I wasn't, and I was trying to be someone I wasn't to be seen as acceptable by them, because I was doing things that I know deep down I wouldn't normally do, and I wasn't raised to do. And that thought, that almost nagging intuition in your head, because it's always there, no matter what, you will always hear this intuition, whichever situation you're in your life, directing you. It was always saying, Sam, this is not a beneficial situation for you to be in. This is not a good environment for you as a person. You need to muster up the courage to do what's best for yourself and put yourself first. And that is a huge point in this whole segment. Put yourself first. It's very hard to learn, actually, and it can take a while. It can take a minute, especially if you're someone who likes to people please and you like to be seen as someone who helps out other people and goes above and beyond for others and wants everything to be okay all the time. While these are good qualities to have, and you should never change yourself fundamentally, it's absolutely okay to be this way, and I definitely completely understand as well. Really good traits to have. However, there is definitely a line with this. You can become so absorbed by what other people think and how you're perceived that you neglect your own self. There's definitely a way of retaining these qualities while putting yourself first, and that is the ultimate position you want to find yourself in. Be a good man, be a good lady, have strong morals, have driven identity, share it with people, but don't give so much of yourself away to please others without any benefit for yourself, because people can take advantage of that. People can see you as just the nice person that allows yourself to just be sucked in for everyone else's game but your own. If you want to be seen cool by people, or if you want to fit in with people, you know, this is fine. This is things that we've all been through. I've been through this. This happens to the best of us, but this often always leads to the lesson I'm talking about. You shouldn't live life trying to impress others at the expense of your own energy all the time, your own happiness, your own goals, your motivations. These things can all be, almost in the worst case scenario, can be completely lost through trying to fit in, through losing yourself to please others, by not being yourself. Remember, you don't need to care about what other people think because it actually has no benefit for you as a person. You can easily impress by not over trying. Just do things. Just be you. Have fun. And don't be so hard on yourself trying to fit into a crowd that maybe, if you ever think about it, you actually deep down know that you don't want to be in anyway. And this point in this whole segment doesn't apply to just groups of friends or people. It can apply to jobs you're in, certain hobbies that you involve yourself in. Think about what you're doing it for. Is it for you? Or is it for other people? Are you trying to impress others to feel more validated within yourself? Sooner rather than later, this is something that I'm trying to learn actually. This is something that I'm trying to learn all the time because it's a very hard thing to learn. So I completely resonate whoever's in this boat because I'm actually in it as well. Sooner rather than later, we will all realise that we don't have to try so hard for other people to feel better about ourselves. We can be fulfilled from ourselves. And that is, I believe, ultimately where we should all try and be. Try and be fulfilled by our own selves. Our own character. To be proud of ourselves. To be grateful for us. Saying nice things to ourselves. All these things are so beneficial and will allow ourselves to be unapologetically ourselves. The sooner we all realise that it doesn't really matter. The people that we're trying to impress are the ones that we're trying to seek validation from to feel something. Because there's something within us that might be missing that should give us that. And that is where searching within ourselves happens. And it can take time. There is no rush. I think the sooner we all know it, the absolute better. But yeah, that's really about it on this topic. Hope you enjoyed.